And we are back! We got some brand new additions to your digital arsenal. We got Light's new slick, clean, lean and mean pump action shotgun, the Matter 26. A straight up converted underbarrel shotgun fit for a hit and run playstyle. And Medium's got a new sporting rifle, the Pike 556. A scope DMR for any marksman who likes to keep their foes at bay. And for today's showcase, the poster twins of Season 4 themselves, you've heard them, you've seen them. The dual 50 caliber Desert Eagles. These are the most show-stealing set of handguns Embark could put in the game. I mean, come on, what other iconic firearm do you think would have a prolific presence in media? This is an overview of the double Desert Eagles. Hell yeah.
Anyway, I started class. Now I don't see so good, so I missed it.
It was in a computer game. Funny as hell, it was the most horrible thing I could think of.
The Desert Eagles are Heavy's new skill cannons, as if he doesn't have any already. Look at this man's physique! No wonder he gets to dual wield these babies! This is Heavy's new mid-range option. This gun does two things: shoot high caliber rounds, and make you feel like a badass while doing so. Unlike Heavy's other guns that let you shoot and sustain fire, you're going to have to pace yourself with this one. You may feel invincible in the moment, but as soon as you need to reload, the state of vulnerability you are in will have you run back home to mommy. Don't get me wrong, this is an extremely strong weapon in the right palms of any ambidextrous Heavy enthusiast, but for those unconfident with their skills, choosing other weapons like the newly buffed M60 having an increased fire rate and the Lewis gun getting a recoil reduction will get you that extra bang for your buck. But if you're wishing to bang into the room, here are some tips. Disclaimer, these tips are more like best practices on how you should be using the Deagles. The finals is a very dynamic game in nature, so a lot of situations will be out of your control. It's how you react to them which truly matters. I could also just give you the advice of just shooting everyone in the head like a pro CS2 player. But I don't want the video to be under the pretense of a player's ability to have a 100% headshot rating. However, you should try to go for headshots as best you can, as the Deagles are designed to be headshotting beasts. But if you just want to have fun, then give this guy a try, even despite having no confidence in your mechanical aim. I mean, you could also use aim training programs such as aim labs and other aim trainers when you don't really feel confident in your personal accuracy. Despite being a controller player myself, I like warming up in aim labs as it gets me mechanically in tune. Alternatively, you can practice in-game by playing Power Shift or Bank It. Well, I hope you're getting warmed up, contestant. Here's the first things you need to know about using the Deagles. Advice number 1. You have high firepower, but you're not invincible. My point is, don't go in expecting to win all those 1v3s. You do have a large health pool, but it's not like you're gonna survive the incoming barrage of enemy gunfire, and you aren't going to be outrunning anyone anytime soon. You are sitting duck just relying on the minuscule amount of ammunition that the Deagles have. You need to make the most of either Heavy's offensive or defensive capabilities. Banking grenades into a fight or entering with your RPG will help you deal as much damage for you or your teammates to team wipe any unsuspecting victim of the dual high power madness that is the Akimbo Desert Eagles. But if you're looking to play more defensively, bring barricades, goo walls, or even a dome shield to be able to sustain yourself in gunfights. Speaking of sustain, tip number 2, abilities. Since the mesh shield got nerfed at the start of Season 4, the strat of shooting and pulling at the shield and 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 shooting and pulling at the shield got nerfed. His other abilities have time in the spotlight, so you might be thinking, oh, I'ma use the Smashy Smash. Yeah, that's actually a good choice. But if you want a good choice, the Goo Gun is surprisingly effective. It's great for giving you space, cluttering the battlefield, and wasting enemies' time and bullets. Because by the time they reach you, they'll be having half a magazine and not enough ammo to take you down. Also, it can act as barricades if you get caught in a difficult spot. And like I said, the Charge and Slam is a good choice. Actually, scratch that, it's still Heavy's best choice. As much as I'm loving the Goo Gun this season, in high elo matches, the Charge and Slam is still seeing the most use due to its damage capability, destruction prowess, and another thing that people don't realize, its ability to reposition Heavy in gunfights. You can also try to use the Winch Claw, but here's the kicker, it pulls your foes too close to you and you don't want any of that with the Deagle. Tip number 3. They are difficult at close range engagements, perfect for mid-range, and decent for long-range pot shots. Try not to get too up close and personal with your enemies. The hipfire of the Deagles are pretty good, but with how large heavy is compared to the other classes, the players that are closer to you are much harder to hit. Wait, why is that? They are literally up in your face. Yes, but when they are that close, they actually move faster across your screen than they would be farther away. Big shocker, I know.
Foolishness.
That means you would have to keep track of them every time they hop off your screen, leading you to consistently reorientate your camera to find them. Keep your distance away from players to be able to maximize the effectiveness of the Deagles. With enough skill and pacing, you might be able to win your aim duels. The Deagles stand a fair chance at mid-range. Just be careful against pike users. They'll be able to outgun you if you're not behind cover. And heavies take 50 caliber rounds like a champ. Because of their large health pool allowing them to tank a lot more damage, you must go for headshots and keep away from them as much as possible. Watch out for winch claws, as getting pulled in means certain death for Deagle heavies. And if they try to charge slam you, prioritize dodging the attacks while keeping your distance. Lights are your biggest pest when it comes to close quarters combat. They'll buzz around you like little annoying flies, agonizing heavy, leaving you Advice number 4. Controller users suffer a lot with the Deagles. Keyboard and mouse players got the opposite end of the story. The Deagles feel very bad on controller compared to the other precision skill weapons like the pike. I mean, isn't the pike supposed to be a long range weapon? Why is it so accurate at close range? I'm not dunking on any controller players. I am literally one of you. And I'm just surprised that the Deagles, out of all the new weapons, have the worst time at close range and on controller. It seems amazing though on mouse and keyboard. As someone who rarely uses mouse and key, the Deagles feel like a blast to use. This is just my opinion, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I usually am, and I think it's because aiming down sights of a gun is way easier to work with and understand than the general direction of the Deagles aligning with the crosshair. That kind of gets influenced by the motion and movement. This is especially interesting in the season where almost all weapons have been buffed due to the ability to have a clearer sight picture. So the Deagle's sight picture literally being Heavy's best guess is a bit odd to work with, as well as the fact that aiming down sights slows Heavy down to a crawl. To get the most impact with the Deagles, you will need to hit most of your shots before being taken down. But overall, with the right spacing, precision, and positioning, regardless of which input device you choose to use, you'll be able to gun down most of your opponents. It just takes some more time to get used to than most other guns. Tip number 5. Have fun and summon your inner desire to recreate your Hong Kong action flick fantasies. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun. Me and my editor, as well as other members on the Discord, join if you want to play Deadlock with me. Yeah, baby, look at me go! Had an amazing time with a full stack of samurai heavy wielding dualies. We didn't end up winning the match, but it was such a funny vibe and a good time. All in all, the Deagles are a great addition to the finals. They might shake up the meta a little bit, as theoretically they have the best range and damage output in Heavy's arsenal, but having a skill gap to separate the good from the great.
Thank you.